What is going on, everybody? Brent Abel here, goldballhunting.com. Yes, there he is over there, ladies and gentlemen. The plumber extraordinaire, Jeff Jacklich.
And we're just going to let everybody figure out what that means, right?
No, I'm going to explain exactly what it means. But yeah, guys, this is going to be a very exciting episode of Gold Ball Hunting Podcast. So hang in there with us to the very end because we have some very, very important goodies to pass your way.
Yeah.
So the big question is this: how are tennis players like us who never played in the tour, weren't incredible juniors, or maybe got a late start to the game, how do we consistently compete at our highest skill level without having to grind through endless hours of on-court practice time and still be in the hunt for victory match after match? That is the question, and Gold Ball Hunting gives you the answers by helping you eliminate your skill level range so that you build a strong foundation of confidence. My name is Brent Abel, and along with my biz partner, Jeff Jacklich, welcome to Gold Ball Hunting. Well, guys, thanks for hanging out with us. Another episode of the Gold Ball Hunting Podcast. Brent Abel, Brent Abel here. Jeff Jacklich over there. Jeffrey?
Yeah.
What's going on there, dude?
Cold morning here in Moraga. Cold.
Yeah.
Frosty acres on the grass outside and on the cars first thing this morning, and it's still cool out there.
Yes,
even though the sun's out, sun feels good, but it's nice. Working with the hands this morning.
Well, that's right. And what I meant by the plumber extraordinaire is our 20-year-old water heater started leaking like an overflowing dam. I don't know, 2 weeks ago, something like that. And so, anyway, Mr. Handyman Jeff Jackson said, no big deal. I can do that. I can take care of that.
Water heater.
So we're about to fire up the gas at some point. Got the old one out.
That's the real test. That's the real test, right?
Yeah. And so that's what we figured. Well, we better record this before we blow the house up.
Exactly.
Yeah. What the heck? Hey, like insurance is paid up, so it's cool.
Hey, yeah,
it's cool. How about your life insurance? You got a little policy?
Yeah, sure, whatever. Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, guys. So, listen. Thanks again for hanging out with us. A quick reminder before we jump into today's episode. Today is episode number 348, I believe. Wow, which is less than 20 to get to 365, 1 year of doing this every day. Pretty darn amazing. And let's see, I just lost my train of thought. Oh, I know what I'm going to say is we've got only a couple more spots left in our 2 one-day training workshops down in the desert in January 16 and 17. That is a Thursday and a Friday. Either it's at the end of the Palm Springs Tennis Club Senior Tournament, or right before the Wilson World Classic Tournament, which is down there in the California desert. So what we're offering, guys, is 2 one-day training workshops. If you've not seen the information video yet, right down below there's a link. You can go watch it. If you've already seen it and you've been on the fence, get off that fence, man, because we are just about sold out. We've got a total of only 16 spots, right, Jeff?
Yeah, so we got we got 1 spot available on Friday right now.
And what is the skill level for that?
4.0.
4.0 or 4.0 plus, somewhere in there.
Yeah, 4.0, 4.0 plus. Yeah.
Okay. And then Thursday we got just a couple of spots left over there.
A few spots left there, and again that'd be in that 4.0 plus range.
Right. Okay. So guys, if you're on the fence, get off the fence, go down below, fill out the application, because we are making sure this is a great fit for you and for your fellow campers. But we would love to have you at least fill out that application and get started. Jeff, anything in particular you want to talk about today before we actually started tackling the hot water heater? We were looking through some of the YouTube comments, and you came up with one that I thought was kind of interesting about looking into the future while trying not to look into the future.
Look into the future, right? Let me see if I can pull it up because it was a
And look, this is a guy who's a heck of a player, by the way, as I recall.
Uh, who was it? Who was it?
I think it was RB, right? Was it the Beer Man?
Was it?
I thought so.
Yeah, maybe it was. Yeah.
I mean, he's literally Beer Man.
Right.
I mean, that's his last name. It's not like, it's not like, Jeff, you're a leg man and
right.
and he's a beer man. It's Randy Bierman.
Yeah.
You got
it? Yeah, so I do. Yeah. So the statement is, or the question first was, what is the number one thing that happens when you lose close matches? And the answer was, I start thinking ahead and don't focus on the next shot. And so as I read that, I realized that both of those statements are thinking ahead.
Yeah. I mean, the second one could be thinking, well, as I'm hitting this one, I'm thinking about the next shot. And look, we know in skiing, right? In skiing, you come into the turn and you're looking at the next turn. Little bit different here in tennis.
Yeah. Although the similarity there, it's a great example. Though the similarity is still there because you're in skiing, and I've skied since I was 10 years old. So, and I've battled through that too. To get to a place where I'm pretty good. And so that is ahead. You're seeing the terrain, processing the terrain while you're feeling the current terrain under your feet. And so you are processing these future, present tense things at the same time. And in tennis, what we've been talking about so much is understanding everything you're doing should be kind of the thought process is a two-shot combination. And so I know what the guy means, that I should be focusing on the next shot. So it's not that thought process necessarily is wrong, but the way it was written out, I thought that's really interesting. Those are both future tense statements. And sometimes even in that simple framework of I should be focused on the next shot, kind of backing that up a little bit, not to get too future tensed. I know when I hit an approach shot, my expectation is I'm going to have to hit a volley next. I don't know what volley I'm getting though. And based on what I get, there may be an adjustment in my target placement, right? What my target's actually going to be. So sometimes what helps filter and understand that answer for what is the next shot is how much pain or lack of pain have you inflicted with the current shot you just hit. And so those two things become very important to understand what you've done in the present tense. And then the future tense kind of becomes a little bit easier to see what's coming and to what your expectation might be, in terms of, percentage tennis. What's the likelihood of this shot coming off his racket? Because I can see I've put him into a lot of trouble. So I can see that looks like there's probably going to be a weak slice coming because I've taken the guy wide as an example. But there is no, if I do this, and this may be too what part of the issue is for a lot of players, not just you, Randy, but a lot of players thinking, I did the pattern, I hit the ball here, I know I'm supposed to go stand here, but this guy is not cooperating. And so without the ability to go back to one of our phrases again, monitor and adjust, I'm blindsiding myself, even though the information is right in front of me that I should be reading in the present tense as to what to expect. I hope that made sense.
Yeah, it makes me think about when I was working with Michael Wayman back in like 2008. And this was about a year before I won my first national singles title, which was in 2009, the 60 hard courts at Mission Hills. And I was struggling a little bit with my backhand slice approach because I was, as he described it, Michael described it, you're kind of living in that nanosecond in the future as you hit it. And part of it is, you and I say, well, where do you want the ball to land over there? And then where do you want to move to next? So some of that is we start moving to the next best court position based on where we're intending the ball to land over there. And we do that, and that's cool. I mean, you can sort of have this image of what's going to happen, but you got to execute the shot at hand without pulling it out of it too soon. I see a lot of it on returns to serve.
Yeah, most definitely.
Where someone's been pulled out wide on a serve, and they're returning, and they're trying to make the return as they're moving back to the middle of the court. And invariably what happens is it's just not if it does go back, it's not a high quality shot. So let's give Randy the benefit of the doubt.
Right.
That he's actually got the right sequence set up in terms of, I want the ball to land there, which means I want to move here next, which means that now these are the likely shots. But I think what happens too often is we start moving to the next best court position a hair too soon. And that's what I was doing with Michael. And Michael just said, look, you gotta stay in the execution of the slice backhand up the line a little bit longer. And you got to also realize that, look, when you've got the ball, you've got the ball. The guy over there doesn't have the ball. You get to take as long as you want to be able to execute that shot.
Right.
So don't rush the moment, right? Don't rush the shot. And I think that's where, where players start to, and it could be, that's what Randy's saying. He's starting to make a little bit of a either low quality shot, could be better, or he's, actually it's an unforced error because he's trying to move to the next best court position just a nanosecond too soon.
Yeah, a little prematurely, right? Yeah, I like to tell players, finish what you're doing, then go do the next thing. And so it's that same idea, stay with the shot a little longer. And sometimes those phrases can get kind of lost in translation, so I like to use, very simple terms. And so for me, that kind of helps players get that moment. Finish what you're doing. Okay, now,
right.
Based on what you've just done, you're seeing your ball now travel across the net. You can tell when you make contact, good contact, mediocre contact, or weak contact. Immediately, that ball's in, that ball's out. It's going to be close. I mean, there are lots of things that I think players, because they're not in the moment, the information is there for them to be able to interpret, but they're not, because they've moved their focus from okay, I just hit the approach, but now they've moved away from what they just did, and they're not really staying with what they just did and what effect is that having on the ball I just hit. So now I can read what effect that ball is going to have on my opponent. There's this transition of what's happening in sequence.
Right.
And the better you can read those sequences, the better off you're going to be as to really defining the position you want to take. You're going to go to this next basic position, but defining it a little bit harder, a little bit more precise. Expectation also increases where, I don't want to say anticipation, but that's part of it. And being able to, read the play much cleaner and quicker is also based on what you've delivered,
Yeah, no, it's good. That's good. Well, look, guys, hope this has helped today. I think we're a little scattered because we're about to blow up 19 Lamps Court here. You said at 12:30 we'd go fire it up. So we got 3
at
minutes.
That time. Oh, 12:27. Yeah.
Yeah, being alive. So, hey guys, it's been great knowing you. But still, sign up for the workshop in January, because if we can't get there, I'm sure in my will, I've got someone I think designated
can step in
for me. Again, quick reminder, January 16 and 17 next year, 2020, a Thursday and Friday in the California desert. Jeff and I are hosting 2 one-day workshops. I suppose there's one spot if someone wants to do both days, but
there's one spot left on Friday right now.
Okay. All right, good. So guys, the way to get signed up is to right down below. There's 2 links. One will take you to the information video so that you can learn everything that we're going to give you. There's actually a pre-training before the workshop itself, the day of the workshop. And then there's a post. There's actually a 4-week post-workshop engagement training as well. And then if you already know that you want in, right down below that link is another link, which was take you to the application so that we can make sure that you are going to be an ideal fit for that group. Guys, with that said, I don't know, Jeff, let's go blow up Moraga. How about that? Sound pretty good?
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, okay. Well, just a little flame, a little fire, a little gas. Happen. In the meantime, what do we want the fine folks to do?
Like us, share us, please subscribe. Let us know what you think down below. iTunes and Stitcher, rate and review. Hang tight, just in case we need emergency. And goldballhoney.com. Spread the word. Come on.
Do it.
Well, you want to.
Do it. Guys, get out there today. Help someone else replace their water heater and make it a spectacular day for them. Guys, Jeff will do this again tomorrow. How's that sound?
Can't wait.